Got it. Uno, dos, tres. Here we go. Cuatro, cinco, seis.
Da, da, da. I'm waiting for the proper cue for recording. Jennifer.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Reverend Suzanne DeWeese. I'm the pastor of Colby Temple. And along with our associate pastor and the Board of Trustees, I welcome you to our Sunday morning service. We thank you for coming on this holiday weekend. So to begin our service, let's see, who would like to light our candles? John, would you? John will light our candles, symbolizing body, mind, spirit. Thank you. Very magical. I would like to begin our morning service with the invocation. I invite you to rise if you're able and remain standing for our first hymn. Our invocation is to invoke spirit. So together, let us come into a frame of reference. Infinite Spirit, this is our opportunity to ask for your comfort, your love, your prayer, that being the universal intelligence here with us personally and impersonally. We ask that these prayers fill our hearts so that we feel the innate goodness, the light, the love, and the fullness of our being, and that throughout the day we share this. And may this be forevermore. With this we say amen. Amen. Our vocalist, Jamie Osmond, will lead the first hymn.
If you can turn to the back of the book for How Great Thou Art. You may be seated.
Thank you, Jamie. That was a pretty big sound. Sounded good. So located on your handout are our Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reciting the principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm that the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. There's a healing prayer located in the back of your hymnal. Please turn to that and pray with me. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Now, for those of you who would like to receive spiritual healing, you're invited to take a seat here against the wall. And you'll go to the next available healer. And while the healers work, the rest of us will be joined in a guided meditation. During this time, our focus will be on turning the spotlight inwards. We'll be letting go of what we need to do, what we need to change, what needs to be fixed. And the emphasis will be on being here in a quiet and safe internal space. So I invite each one to let your hands rest in your lap open. If you're comfortable letting your eyes close, then just let your eyelids rest gently. To begin, our senses will help us turn inwards. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice the sound in the room, the soft music. Notice any scent in the room, perhaps the candle. Notice if there's any light on your eyelids, even as your eyes are closed. And for your fifth sense, notice any taste in your mouth. Focusing on our body's senses, we begin to ground ourselves in the body, in the physicality of this moment. And then we come into the breath, and our breath becomes steady and deep. So we breathe down into the low belly. And on the exhalation, there's a full letting go into this moment here in Kolbe Temple. In your own time, taking a few deep breaths, concentrating on the breath, knowing that the breath is life itself. When we're born, we take a breath in, and when we die, we take our last breath out. So breathing into that internal flame of your being. Breathing into that stream of the divine that flows within your being. Breathing into what is so, without it needing to be different, so the mind is calm and relaxed. Our senses draw us inwards. We're not resisting. We're simply flowing into the internal self, the deep self, the essential self that is often disregarded in the day of busyness. Drawing into this moment where there is grace and blessings. When we're open and spacious, we draw to us our guides. We draw our loved ones to us. We mingle with light that surrounds us. And there is peace with our guides and our loved ones. There is comfort with the masters and the teachers coming to us. Not needing us to be any different. We're not having to effort. You're always you. And here in the you that you are, there is a quiet and a peace and a fullness. Visualize now a very golden light. And it's egg-shaped, so you're resting in a womb of golden light. And this is your vast self. This womb of golden light is your spirit, which goes through and through the body, through and through the mind. Yet we come into awareness of our field all around us that is light. This is your light. You cannot have more light or less light. You cannot have more spirit or less spirit. There's only your light and your spirit here, now. And imagine this light focuses just like a laser beaming to the heart. So for a moment, direct this vast field of light that's all around you. Come into the heart center. And it's in the heart center, which is our spiritual heart, where the qualities of kindness, patience, forbearance. So we're pulling all this light from our field into the heart, the spiritual heart. And we're encouraging the heart center to be spacious and open, flowing with kindness towards our own self, compassion towards our own self. And here we let go of the heaviness of the world. Here in the spiritual heart rests great love, the love of your existence, the preciousness of this life, right here in the heart. Breathing in that golden light into the heart center, breathing it in, radiating that golden light out. So there's a flow of give and a take in the spiritual heart. The more we give of the spiritual heart, the more open and spacious that flow returns into the heart. Internalize your attention to the heart, the spiritual heart that always, always protects you, calms you and comforts you. Imagine now in that spiritual heart, there is a flower that is blossoming. Notice the fragrance of sweetness coming from the flower in the spiritual heart that is blossoming. This is your nature. And there's a fragrance from your spiritual nature that is flowing to embrace you, to send love to everyone. This is you in your spiritual heart. And this flower, this fragrance is enchanting. Allow yourself to be enchanted by your own spiritual goodness, your fragrance, your love, your God self, your higher power, here in the flower that is blossoming in your heart. Breathe into the fullness of your being, where nothing needs to change, where nothing needs to be fixed. Everything that you are is enough in this moment. The love, the light, and the fullness is the fragrance of the spiritual heart, embracing you, caring for you, and drawing to you your loved ones. Take a moment and feel the presence of a loved one. Who is with you? Who did you attract? Your spiritual heart is like a magnet drawing loved ones to you. Allow this visitor to care for you and to love you intensely right now. And you don't need to know who it is. It may be an ancestor coming in for healing you. Allow for healing through the spiritual heart. It's your destiny. It's your birthright to be healed moment by moment by loved ones. We don't earn healing. We allow healing. We don't have to fight for peace. We allow peace to blossom through the spiritual heart. We allow the fragrance of the preciousness of this life to heal us and care for us. And we'll have an affirmation. I invite you to repeat quietly to yourself. From the depths of my heart, I trust myself to know what is best for myself. From the depths of my spiritual heart, I trust myself to know what is best for myself. Know the peace of your being. Know the trust. And know the love that you are. We'll gradually now end by just bringing your hands together, rubbing your hands together vigorously. Rub, 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 put some heat in your hands. Bring your hands together, everybody. Rub, rub, rub. Good. And then just put them on your face. And tenderly just feel the warmth of your own love and your light on your face. Nice, just feel how good that is. And hands to heart. With this we say amen. Thank you. If you received a healing resulting in a correction or an improvement, there's a yellow card in your hymnals, also on the back table, and we invite you to fill one of these out. And this is helpful for all of us to know that you're being healed. So we thank our healers, Lori Carter, who is healing. She'll be our speaker. Marty Hadaway and Reverend Judy Cooper, and Cocat was healing also. We're healing, yes. So we have all our healers. We thank them. Our next hymn will be led by our vocalist, Jamie Hausman.
You can please rise and turn to page 188 of your hymnal, Kings of Orient. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we travel so far, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of might, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Frankincense to offer have I, incense owns a deity nigh, prayer and praising, home and raising, worship God most high. Oh, star of wonder, star of might, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. You may be seated.
That was my first Christmas hymn I got to sing, so that felt good. So I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Lori Carter. Lori Carter is our esteemed resident journalist. She's been a reporter for 25 years, and she finds the most curious stories in Volusia County and interesting ones to report on. She also has a blog that I like to read because she has a very creative mind. So Lori is a resident here in the camp. She is a medium and a healer, and she is one of our teachers. She really brings a lot of goodness and laughter here in the camp. So I'm very happy to introduce Lori Carter to you as a guest speaker. Please welcome.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Suzanne DeWeese. Just saying. And I have to say, she was my platform teacher when I was coming through the student program. And I took her platform class so many times. And she is the best. So if you ever see that offered, I'm going to say jump on that. And what a beautiful meditation. I feel so honored to have her caring for me today. And so here we go. You never know what's going to happen with Lori when we're up here. I so love it in Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp, a great energy to be in and to grow in. I'm a medium healer and teacher wanting to help others on their journeys. Evolving into a more spiritual being is my destination. I just want to do better than I did yesterday. You know, being with family, working with spirit, and helping people are a few things that bring me bliss. And then it happens. I see a headline and I get into the dirt. I do. Are they still tabulating election results? It's been 19 days since the midterms. The struggle is real for me. And I want everything to be fair and balanced. Anyone else here a middle child? I think it's partially why I wanted to become a reporter. I've been a reporter since I first started working for the community college newspaper, The Angler. It's been at least 25, 30 years. I always want to get to the bottom of every story there ever was, is, or will be. I was a Lois Laner who wanted to save the world, save anything, and I still am. How many of you watch the news or read the news here? Yeah, only a couple, not too bad. And so I have to say that I have not watched mainstream media in at least 10 years. Even when I wrote for the newspaper, I did not follow the news. I just don't do it. And it's a good thing because I do pick up little tidbits from here and there. The struggle is real on so many levels. In my career, I have been a staff writer covering cops, municipalities, and counties. Exciting stuff. Oh yes, and elections. 19 days and still counting. The struggle is real. Fun little story here. My first newspaper staff writing job, I had to go cover the elections in Marion County. Do you guys remember the hanging chads? That election. So it's been a minute. Granted, I was 40, but still new to the newsroom. On the way over to the supervisor of elections office, I saw a sign about learning how to be an auctioneer. I was like, oh, what a great story that will be. So I pull off the road. I'm like, I got time. I pull off the road, get out, talk to a couple of people, get phone numbers and cards so I can come back and do the story. And now I'm getting ready to get in my car and I can't find my keys. And I definitely got places to go. I locked them in my car. The struggle was definitely real. It's what we do while in the struggle. I pulled it together. A locksmith came pronto and I was off. Later in the newsroom, I was responsible to write 3 stories in less than an hour. I'm telling you, I was shaken. I was like, oh no. And I sat outside of my editor's office. And when he got to my second story, he said, you better not have the same lead for that last story, Lori. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so thank goodness that race was a landslide and I got to write it in my lead. And you know what? We have seen some turbulence going on in this country and in this world in the last couple of years. And, and possibly even before then. It has been proven that violent media exposure can exacerbate or contribute to development of stress, anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. Think about it when you turn on your television to watch the news. Quote unquote, negative news can significantly change an individual's mood, especially if there is a tendency in the news broadcast to emphasize suffering and also the emotional components of the story, said Dr. Graham Davey. In particular, negative news can affect your own personal worries. Viewing negative news means that you're likely to see your own personal worries as more threatening and severe. And when you do start worrying about them, you are more likely to find your worry difficult to control and more distressing than it would normally be. And so the struggle is real. To me, it's about the vibration. As a freelancer, I got to choose what I wanted to write, a much better option for me. I began to think of myself as Good News Lori. People were actually happy to see me in the community. I loved it. I had regular weekly columns for years in the Lake edition of the Orlando Sentinel. I wrote about human interest stories, people, school and library happenings. Centenarians were always fun. For the most part, these people were great interviews. However, for a couple of them, I had to rely on their adult children to fill in some blanks. One time, this woman was not well. She sat in a wheelchair with her eyes closed the whole time. And I was also a photographer for 25 years as well. And I went to the office with the picture that was provided, and my editor was not happy. We had words and I left. The struggle is real. Trust me when I say it was an interesting ride home for me. I was very upset because, I cared for this person and I couldn't get the photo that my editor wanted. And I was upset. And so I got home, I uploaded all the photos, sent them to my editor, and in the subject line, I wrote, eye-popping photos. My bad. The story was held because we didn't know if the woman would survive. And then finally it ran on the next Saturday. And you know that she left the earth plane on Sunday as if to know that story got told, and she knew exactly what was happening. I'm sure each and every one of us have struggled or continue to struggle with professional situations each and every day. Professional situations versus what we think in our mind, what we think is right. Yes, we need to make money to live on this earth plane. How much money do we really need to live? And I love me some quotes, and why? Because at times they inspire me and for sure make me think about things. I had some actually picked out, and then a grouping came up on my Facebook memories yesterday, and I had to take that as a sign. And so I changed my little quotes, and here we go. Life without liberty is like a body without spirit. Khalil Gibran, The Vision, Reflections on the Way of the Soul. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. Benjamin Franklin, Silence, Do Good, The Busybody, Early Writings. I love Benjamin Franklin. A right delayed is a right denied. Martin Luther King Jr. And finally, I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Thomas Jefferson. Those words truly bring me into the beginnings of spiritualism, when spiritualists had a voice, stood for something, and made positive change. In 1859, the National Organization of Spiritualists held a National Spiritualist Convention on August 5th through the 7th in Plymouth, Mass. And taken from what I found this information, in those days, spiritualists believed that spiritualism was part of a comprehensive progressive social reform program that tied in with other reforms such as temperance, abolitionism, prison reform, and women's rights. According to SusanBAnthonyFamily.com, Lilydale was known for its support of women's rights. Marion H. Skidmore, a leader of the spiritual community, also a founder of Southern Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp Meeting Association, was a great proponent of women's suffrage. At her invitation, Susan B. Anthony frequently spoke about women's rights at the Spiritualist Camp in Lilydale. Spiritualists were part of that movement. The constitutional amendment for women to vote came into place in 1920. Today, we mind our P's and Q's to be politically correct. Of course, you never know. With me up here, this struggle is real. Perhaps your struggle is if you should move clear across the country in the next year, or should it be 5 years? Should I stay in this relationship or let it go? Should I pay this bill or that bill? Maybe your big struggle is what to cook for dinner tonight. We are constantly making decisions, and what might seem like a big deal today may not even be a thought a year, 5 years, or 10 years from now. Perhaps the biggest struggle is within us, the struggle with self and where we come from, the vibrations we hold from situations in the past and what they are now today. We must become aware of what we let into our lives. Think about this. What goes on in this world trickles down into the country, states, and finally neighborhoods. How do we make change in our thinking and our environment to let go of the struggle? First, we must become aware of it and be more mindful. We must take notice of what we are thinking and doing, what we are allowing in. It's easy to get wrapped up in the day-to-day routine. Become aware of your feelings. You know, I took social problems when I graduated from college in 2000. And I mean, I had the option of taking psychology. It just wasn't for me. And we talked about a lot of times, how come things aren't changing in the world? And it's because people are too busy with the grind, making money, taking care of the kids, soccer, ballerina, dog to the vet, and the list goes on. 2, we should take notice of who we are spending our time with and how the people around us affect our being. You know, as we grow spiritually, friends and others around us may shift. Create prosperity affirmations and repeat them daily. I am a powerful spiritualist being filled with light and love. I am naturally enlightened. I am always in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity. 4, meditate. How many of you meditate? Not too bad. I feel everyone should partake in a daily meditation practice. And, you know, I was thinking about going into on how to meditate, but if you would like to know afterward, please get with me. But, you know, I have heard teachers say that meditation is a must to grow your gifts. That is true. But meditation is a must to grow spiritually as well. 5, connect with nature. Take a walk on a trail at a park or go to the beach. 6, know your triggers and do your best to avoid them. 7, here's a good one. Have you ever had a situation occur over and over again? Choose a different route or a different path. Oh, and here we go. We're having some quotes now. Listening to your ego brings your vibration down. Listening to your higher self brings your vibration up. Caroline A. Shearer, raise your vibration, tips and tools for a high frequency life. When you raise your vibration, you make room for miracles in your life. You prepare the space within yourself to receive love and support from the universe. And when you create a daily spiritual practice, you are basically taking the time to remind yourself that you deserve to be supported, and you do deserve miracles. Kyle Gray, raise your vibration, 111 practices to increase your spiritual connection. Everything in your life revolves around free will choices of your soul. Sabrina Reaver, raise your vibration. Forgiveness is huge on so many levels. The question is, can this truly be accomplished in one's life? Surely it's easy to forgive your spouse for burning the eggs this morning, or your friend who lambasted you because it wasn't a good day. Those are easy ones to forgive, right? But what about those deep down hurts, hurtful things done by so-called friends, lies, gossip, extramarital affairs? I'm sure we have all had experiences that are tough to forgive, and some people never do forgive. Ask yourself this: what good is it for me to hold on to something that has already happened? It's part of the past. There's nothing that can be done to change it unless you have a replay button. Wouldn't that be great? I use mantras to help me through life, and here's one of my favorites. I cannot control what other people do. All right, so I'm going to ask you all to wake up out there and repeat with me. Ready? I cannot control what other people do. I said it daily until it stuck, and I still take it out when I don't understand why people do what they do and say what they say. It does help. And this leads me to another mantra. Everybody has a story. Okay, you guys know what to do. Everybody has a story. That's right. You know, we all have a story of who we are, where we come from, how we got to where we are now. And we live by that story, and it's okay. Sometimes we all get caught up in our life, going here and there and doing this and that. We forget about where the other person is coming from, even if they did just use harsh words or tell a lie. According to Marilyn Autry's book, River of Life, How to Live in the Flow, which happens to be in our bookstore, I love this book. It's a book of natural laws. The law of forgiveness expresses the necessity of allowing bygones to be bygones. By doing so, you are clearing the path for your own spiritual growth. As you forgive, you are creating a vibration of harmony. Only good can come from forgiveness. Couple more quotes, and this is the last group, I promise. When you hold resentment toward another, you are bound to that person or condition by an emotional link that is stronger than steel. Forgiveness is the only way to dissolve that link and get free. Catherine Ponder. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. To forgive is the highest, most beautiful form of love. In return, you will receive untold peace and happiness. Robert Mueller. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. We all know where that comes from, right? This brings me to spiritualism's declaration of principles, and there are two principles that apply to forgiveness. Number 6, we believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. It seems so simple. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Find something you love about everyone and then go from there. I think the Beatles are right. All we do need is love. We are all one. We're all in this together. Doesn't it make sense to live in peace and harmony? Principle 7 reads, we affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. Ultimately, it's up to you how you live your life. It's so much easier to forgive. We all must realize that we are on this plane of existence for a purpose. And some in spiritualism believe that we make contracts with people in our cell group before we come down to this earth plane. People in your cell group are your family, your close friends, people who are directly around you. And it could also be the person you got in the fender bender with. That was a lesson, slow down, or maybe that person had something to say to you that was really needed to be heard at that time. Here's a good one. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what you think you should have done in any given situation that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Forgive yourself. You have a story too, of life purpose. And here's one last mantra. I forgive all past experiences. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lori. I learned so much, and my take home is look for one good in every person. It's very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our musical interlude is now with our vocalist, Jamie Osmond, and during the interlude, our baskets will be passed around for donations, and we do appreciate your generosity. It supports our dissemination of spiritualism in many ways. Thank you.
Did you?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, oh, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear. The hour I first believed, through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will bring me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've numberless days to sing God's praise. Then when we first begun. If you guys can sing the first verse with me, I would appreciate that. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Beautiful, thank you.
I'm gonna have her come up. Okay. So Jamie used to sing gospel,
Mhm.
and she has a little story about singing. Would you tell it?
I will.
Okay.
So when I used to sing gospel, I was backed, this was in my 20s, I was backed by a couple of homegrown guitar players, but one of them used to say that I would sing acapella instead of acapella. So now I have a really hard time saying acapella, and I always say that I'm going to sing acapulco.
And now I always say it too. Please sing Acapulco. Okay, beautiful.
So I'd like to just say a prayer of gratitude for your donations. Infinite Spirit, we have been blessed being present together, and we are blessed to receive donations for the upkeep and the growth and the dissemination of spiritualism here in Colby Temple. And from our hearts, we say thank you to everyone. Thank you. So I have some announcements. Next Wednesday, which is November 30th, our message bearer will be Reverend Dickie Joe Mullen. And then next Sunday, our guest speaker will be Reverend Maida Jones. And then next Sunday, Lyceum, also the 4th, is Eileen Valentine. So those are our upcoming speakers. We also have the December programs in the back. They're the white ones with the red inserts, if you'd like to take one with you, which is for December. They're not in your books. You have the rest of November, which is over. So you can take one of those. So every Sunday we have Adult Lyceum, which is our Sunday school, and we have it here at 9:30 to 10:15 here in Colby Temple. To participate in absentee healing, you could print your name and the first initial of the last name of a loved one, a friend, or a pet in our healing book, which is in the corner table. And those names are read at our Thursday morning healing class each week. So flyers for camp activities are in your book. The December ones are in the white church bulletins in the back. So Tuesday, we're going to have what's called Get Your Glow On, and we are in need of helpers to help decorate the temple. We're going to be putting up Christmas trees and hanging things and decorating. So if anyone would love to come and help us decorate, everyone is welcome. And that's going to be Tuesday, starting at 10 o'clock, non-members and members, and we will be serving pizza. And now this is important. Friday, December 16th is our annual candlelight service, and there is a flyer in each of your hymnals. You'll see our candlelight service. We're having a Celtic harp. We have beautiful music. Our vocalist Jamie will be singing with her son. Yeah, right. And so we really invite everyone. We'll have a number of 5-minute short messages given after the service for the first maybe hour and a half. So today there is a class called Becoming a Spiritualist. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. It's in the Andrew Jackson Davis building, our bookstore. It's about meditation and mediumship development and becoming a spiritualist, and that's a $10 class with Robin. So our next hymn will be with Jamie.
If you can please rise and turn to page 2, Destiny at My Command. Solid rock of truth divine, sure foundation ever mine, safe, secure, I shall remain, free from every care and pain, living always for the right, gliding higher in the light, on the rock of truth I stand, destiny at my command, filled with unction from on high, boundless good forever nigh, ever in my heart the song, angels sing so firm and strong, highest heights in truth's domain, I shall reach and thus obtain every longing of my heart, for no blessing can depart, all of help and good all mine, since my God I am divine. You may be seated.
Now I would like to welcome our message bearer, Lori Carter, our resident journalist, who is also a really good medium, and she has raised her daughter, who is also a medium, and sometimes you may see they have something called two views when they work together. So I'd like to invite her up to do messages for all of you. So let's welcome Lori.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Hey. All right, I'd like to come to the lady back here first. How are you? Awesome. Would you like a message? Okay. As I get into your vibration, I do have a woman here in spirit with you. She's got beautiful skin. I'm going to say she passed maybe in her, I'm going to say around 78 is what I heard. And she's got a great sense of humor. She is a hoot. She wants people to laugh. She wants people to have a good time. I kind of wonder if she's doing some type of needlework, possibly knitting, crocheting, maybe even sewing. And I do feel like something with her about hoarding something. I'm not sure if it's like newspaper articles. Could be, since of the talk today and because I am here. But I do feel like she did hoard something, and I do feel like sewing was a big thing for her now. And I do feel like it's significant, and she's showing this because I feel like she wants you to sew relationships back together within the family dynamic. And so I guess I'm gonna say you must be a little bit of a peacekeeper in the family. And maybe this is something for you to step into. You never know. I do feel that you have the ability to be a teacher and you're able to speak to others in ways that they understand. It's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna say also, I do feel a little confined with you, or maybe you're wanting to get away from something. And I'm gonna say, take that little trip, and I guess you're in Cassadaga today, and it starts as a start. And I'm gonna leave that with love and light. Thank you. And I'd like to come to this lady right here, in the tie-dye, a woman after my own heart. I love tie-dye. Let me see, as I get into your vibration, I do have a gentleman coming into spirit for you. And he looks like he's got darker hair, and he probably had facial hair at one point. And what I gotta say is I gotta think he's got a little balding spot right here coming on. And I gotta tell you, my back hurts really bad here. And I'm not sure what that's about, but that did start coming on when I was meditating before messages. And so I feel he's very intelligent, very unique, and he marches to his own beat, and he wants to remind you to march to your own beat. Yeah. Don't worry about what other people are saying around you. Don't allow people around you to blur your vision, because you have a vision and you have something to do in this earth. Yeah. And I'm gonna leave that. And I do feel that you are really connecting to your source a lot as of late. And I'm gonna say, keep with that. And I leave that with love and light. Thank you. All right, over here, where am I going? Over here. Let me see. I'd like to come to the young lady here with the long straight hair. How are you today? Awesome, thank you. I do have a woman around you, and you know, I mean, you know, when we're all younger, we all are thin and beautiful, and the food is just divine, right? And so I'm gonna say she got a little fluffier as she aged. And I almost feel like she has like a pear-shaped body is what I want to see. And let me see, what else can I see about, you know, oh my goodness. And I gotta wonder if there's something going on with her ribs or the side of her body here. For some reason, I'm picking up on that. And so I guess it's because I'm a medium. And and so I have to believe she has a really divine sense of humor. I love that. And she's showing me Native American for you. So I feel like getting in the Native American culture is going to be super helpful to you in growing your spiritual self. Yeah. And start paying attention to the animals that you see and look them up as totems. Also, I want to say is I feel like that you're possibly going to be learning the medicinal values that grow on the earth plane, and create helpful mixtures, I guess, for lack of a better word, to assist other people. And so, you know, I almost want you to go find a tribe and go get on a reservation somehow. I don't know if that's possible, but if you make it there, send me a postcard. I leave that with love and light. And one last one, I'd like to come to this lady right here. I have a woman here with beautiful white hair. And she's got beautiful skin, maybe powdered lipstick at the most, but she dresses very nicely. And she wants to put out that persona to being together, and she was, though. I do believe she has beautiful long nails, and she also has, she loves jewelry, and it has to be authentic. It doesn't have to be over the top. Let me see. And I do feel like she was a real one for sweets, and I gotta wonder if she shouldn't be eating them. Something possibly medically going on with her. They're showing me you're quite the loyal person, and you are somebody who cares for a lot of people, and I'm gonna say you're a healer as well. And so I'm gonna guess that you attract a lot of broken people to you. And it's okay, because we all get to put ourselves back together, and I love that. Let me see what else I'm seeing. They're showing me you're very gentle and you're very kind, but you are also very unique. And I almost feel like for you, stepping into a teaching role is gonna be something to help others around you. And, you know, the students appear when the teacher is out there. And so I'm gonna say, start paying attention to the people who are students, and I leave that with love and light. Thank you, Spirit.
We thank our message bearer and our guest speaker, Lori Carter. We'd like to remind everyone that we have an afternoon message service. It starts at 12 o'clock. It's here in Colby, so there'll be a few mediums over here. It's from 12 to 12:30. We welcome you to come back to the temple if you'd like for spirit messages, similar to what Lori was just doing. So it's a group of mediums and student mediums. So we encourage you to visit our bookstore, which will be open at 12, and it will be open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6. Let me get this straight, excuse me. 12 to 5, Monday through Friday, and 10 to 6 on Saturday. And today it's open at noon. So we'll have our final hymn, and we would like to invite our associate pastor to come up. She'll be leading our benediction. I'm sorry, what?
Yes, if you can rise and turn to page 203, let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God our Creator. Children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I don't know what that was.
We're jamming down here. Infinite Spirit, make us aware that each lyric in the song that we just sang is possible. Make us aware that we have an important step to make that peace something that's permanent and everlasting. We just want to thank the universe for the opportunity to make the changes that we want in our lives. And it's in the name of truth we pray. Amen.
Oh, there wasn't anybody else. I see the reason. No, there's nothing. So they can recommend for walking. And I'm not sure if they want to use it.
The meeting, you can see.
After